More than that, more than that.
Welcome to More Than a MTAD Podcast. I'm your host, Lou Mobley. I'm joined by the coolest guy on earth, Dre Moore.
What's good, y'all?
And we want to shout out Lanham, Maryland.
Shout out to them. We see y'all in the downloads and the listens.
Holding us down in the downloads, man. Listen, whenever it's tour time, we know where we got to go, don't we? Come tour the pod or have an event there, man. Get the dads to come out.
Yeah, that's a fact, yo. We're going to put the tour together.
So what's up, man? You got this fast five?
Yes, sir. We're going to get into it. We jumping right in. What's your favorite Disney movie?
Lion King.
I like Lion King. Super Mario or Sonic?
Super Mario.
Mario.
Nintendo had so much of a stronger run than Sega to me.
Sonic was better.
Nah.
It's better. PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation, easy. Crash Bandicoot. Tomb Raider.
Yeah, PlayStation was lit. I grew up an Xbox kid, but PlayStation was lit. PlayStation adult though. X-Men or the Avengers?
Ew, hot take. X-Men. Even though the movies were test runs for all the superhero stuff, it felt like.
True that.
But like I grew up liking the X-Men way better, and there's always a lot of them. Like, they probably can handle the Avengers themselves. There's just so many X-Men.
Yeah, X-Men.
And their powers were cooler. And how they got their powers were cooler.
Power of the Wire.
The Wire.
The Wire. I like The Wire a lot.
Especially, what season was that with all the dead bodies and the bandos and all that?
4 or 5 with the kids.
And the kids growing up.
Yeah, that was right. That's probably one of my favorite Wire seasons.
For sure. Let's get into it, man.
How's dad life?
Dad life isn't bad, man. It's just amazing to me to watch Manny growing up. Like, Manny is really backseat driving right now.
Yeah.
He backseat driving. He telling me, I'm at a red light, right? But he don't understand the concept of their light is green. He like, Daddy, I see a green light. Why are you not going? Why are you not going? I said, because I'm going to kill us all.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill us all if we go. But he been, I don't know, how old was your kids when they could recognize, is this the route home or not? Or like the landmarks to go home?
Pretty young. I mean, Ash do it a lot. He know where we're going. He been knowing where we're going for a while, so I would say pretty young. Maybe like age of 2, age 3. Something like that.
I pull out the daycare and go a different way. Dad, where we going? We're not going home, huh?
Yeah, definitely be knowing like already before where we going. Like I don't know where they developed it. I guess they just be sitting in the back seat looking out the window.
Yeah, it's probably landmarks and stores and like, Daddy, that's Wawa. Daddy, that's ice cream over there. Daddy, that's what's the one he said? That's the computer supermarket. He's talking about Staples.
The computer supermarket is crazy.
He's smart as hell, dog. He like too smart, man.
Yeah, no, that's funny. That's super funny.
Dad
life for me is interesting these days. Well, it's just a part of like growing up and just having older kids and just like seeing certain things. So like I got secrets like that I can't even discuss. So I'm gonna give you something that I can discuss. Well, I don't know if I can discuss it or not, but we here, so we're gonna talk about it.
Thank you for the outer body thoughts.
No, because in my head I was gonna go somewhere about Nadia, but like I can't really talk about that because I'm not supposed to know what I know.
Okay.
But I do know. But Lil Dre actually had a situation. So like I was taking him home. He was getting his haircut. So like normally like when we go get a haircut on Saturday, since they don't live here, they live in Chester. His mom usually would come and meet. Like she'd come meet me, he'd get his haircut, and then like they'll leave and go do whatever they do. So she came and she was like, yeah, like I think you need to like revisit the conversation with Dre, about like puberty and stuff like that. So
are we back on that?
Yes, he's on that again. So I'm like, all right, Donnie, whatever, it's cool. Like I talked to him. So like I had got him, and she he was with me like all day. He stayed the night and everything, and this was like a week afterwards. So when I dropped him back off, she was like, "Oh, well, did you talk to him?" And I'm like, "About what?" Like she's like, "I told you we had to revisit the conversation." I said, "Yeah, but you didn't really like provide context. You just like made a statement of saying like you need to like revisit the conversation." I'm like, "All right." I'm like, I didn't even really think nothing of it. And plus, like the way Dre is, unless like you walk him to a conversation, he's not really gonna say it. Like just like I told you how he was feeling the way about my dad, never said nothing to me. Like that's just how he is. So she was like, "Well, like the one day I was trying to go in his room and the door was locked." So I'm like,
Oh man.
so the door was locked. So she like, I told her, ain't no locking doors in my house, whatever. Like you gotta not have your door locked, whatever. So she like asked him like, why the door was locked. So this is what she's saying to me. Like we outside having this conversation, and she's like, like I asked him why the door was locked. So he was like, "Oh, I was touching my wee wee." That's what he said to her, bro. Like flat out said it, like he didn't have no lie, no explanation. So like he just said it to her. So like it was like kind of taken back a little bit. So like we ended up like calling him to come outside, and so like I could have a conversation with him about like him touching himself.
Could we end that segment better?
Like, bro, he was so I mean like we had a talk. So I just asked him, like what he was like, how long has he been doing it? He said he was doing it for a while. He said he was doing it for a while. I was like, all right. I asked him, has anything ever come out of it? I thought he was gonna tell me yeah, because he was like anything like outside of like pee, and I'm like yeah. So he was like white pee, and I'm like
cool.
I'm like white pee, what? But then like what he meant was like clear pee. Like so I'm like, has anything ever come out of it like while you was like touching it? And he was like, no, nothing ever came out. So I'm like, all right, well he hasn't like got to the point of that. So I was just like, I was about to explain to him. So I had like used the term ejaculation with him. And he kind of just was like, yeah, Dad, I'm feeling kind of tired. I think I want to go to sleep. Because this is at like 11 o'clock at night. This is in the middle of the night. So he's like, yeah, I think I just want to go to sleep now. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Just let it rock, bro.
Like, ejaculation, a very intimidating word for me at this age.
I'm saying. I thought we was going there. We was going there. Like,
white pee is crazy.
White pee is crazy. His mom looked like disturbed. About a conversation, and I'm just like, man, somebody got to do it, I guess.
Bro, I don't really feel like you're a real parent until you get to this point where you gotta have these makeshift sex talks. This is the craziest.
What you mean? You don't feel like you're a real parent until that?
No, you're just not.
What you mean?
You're just not, bro.
What you mean?
Like this is the epitome.
We all real parents.
No, this is the epitome of being a parent. Cause I'm sitting there having a sex talk with your youngin' and trying to get them to understand, or you to understand what they going through.
Yeah, I'm trying to see where we was at with it. I just, because it's a different conversation. Like if you, for a lack of terminology, if you're masturbating to the point of getting to an ending, it's a different conversation than like, oh, I was just in there flicking it. Because like, I might have just rubbed up against it and realized it felt a little good.
Oh my God.
Versus like I'm actually in that joint trying to. I mean, teenage kids,
When we say the optics of parenthood, bro, this
Crazy,
is one of them moments. It ain't all just changing diapers and playground.
One day you're gonna have to get to something real. That's extremely real, bro.
I do not look forward to it, man.
Listen, it's gonna happen.
I got some time.
The unavoidable.
Maybe I'll mature, because I'm definitely not mature enough to have the conversation today.
I mean, I'm not mature enough to have a conversation, but I'll be doing, I laugh at everything. I think everything is funny. Like,
you're a real parent, though.
Because I've been doing it for so long, bro. It's just like, sometimes you gotta. I still laugh at everything. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if you say to me, like, if I ask you, like, why your door was locked and you said, like, you was in there touching yourself, I'm gonna laugh. Because it's funny. But, it's weird to God to you, but.
No, man, I didn't expect us to talk about this long, but however,
my bad, bro.
I recently went up to IUP out western Pennsylvania, near Pittsburgh, and we stayed in Pittsburgh. And a lot of people were asking me about More Than a Dad. And I wanted to take an episode to actually reiterate our actual mission
Right.
of what we're doing here. So that's going to be what this whole episode is geared towards, to make sure that we're all aligned and you guys know our goals. And if you want to continue to support us and, push our mission forward with us, we would appreciate it.
That's a fact.
So I'll start off by just saying, I look at More Than Dad and our mission as building a community of fathers, one dad at a time. I just came up with that.
Right.
Building a community of fathers, one dad at a time. I think we're a lifestyle brand, and I think we have a podcast.
Okay.
That's how I say it to people. Some people went up to me like, it's a show, and they comparing us to every other podcast they ever seen. This is a safe space for men. We might learn some things from opposite sex and different parenting dynamics, but this is a safe space for us. I feel safe coming here to talk to you about what goes on in my day-to-day parenting, marriage, relationship, professional career.
Right.
So this is what I'm creating. So even going further than that, the goal of really having a dad community is to benefit the dads and the children, right? So it's like, I'm a resource to you. You could be a resource to me. You could be a resource to my child. Like, we got buddies that are in real estate. We got buddies that are mechanics. We have buddies that teach, coach. I work in television. You drive a bus.
Right.
A community of dad would serve us all well, because one of the popular things that happened over COVID is everybody changing careers, starting new careers, becoming entrepreneurs, starting organizations. And it's like, we could be a resource for each other.
Right.
So I just want to talk a little bit about that and see how you felt about just us plastering our mission out there.
Yeah, I think that's big. I think that's huge, because that's what we are in it for. That's kind of the forgotten link that when you look into a lot of these communities and how we talk about how we grew up, your dad might have been the only dad on the block.
Right.
But his limitations is his limitations. Same thing with my dad. He might be good at this, and this is all I really have. And I feel like being in a leadership role and being in a space where we are all striving to, be some sort of leaders, it's good that we have a bunch of dads that we can pull from to get different things. Because we all have different skill sets, different experiences, different outlooks, different
interests.
Yeah, different interests. And especially when it's when we talking about pushing forward the next generation of men in general. You got to get the guidance and the tutelage from somebody. Right. And it's a lot of I have to get on, but we gonna go there. We here, we gonna go there. It's a lot of conversation about how it's not, when you have conversations amongst men and women, mostly women, it's a lot of complaints about the qualities that a lot of these men have, as far as leading and certain things, and you can only really do what you taught. To be honest, if you're not taught to do it, you might not have it. Some people could be self-taught and teach themselves how to do it, but we gotta embrace that role to be the teachers, to be the ones to push this forward, because this is what they know. So it's we have a community of dads who could show you how to get it a bunch of different ways, whereas though people, when we was coming up, you may have lacked the resources, and people can only show you how to get it, how they got it. So if they was in the streets, they might be showing you how to get it from out the streets, or showing you how to get it in a different way. Whereas though we have the ability to be I could tap into Lou work in TV, work in the TV industry if my kids was interested in something like that, tone a mechanic. You know what I'm saying? I drive a bus. We have friends that, do a bunch of different things. So we could tap into a bunch of different things, and that's why it's important for us to have this community, because especially for the guys, the boys that's growing up, and we just don't want your role models to just be on TV.
Facts.
And on the radio. Those are your role models, people, athletes, and entertainers. We want your role models to be something that may be a little bit more attainable for you. Right. That could change the trajectory of where you going. So we just want to be able to build that community so you have those resources to tap into. And I think that's really what our mission is.
I think one of our guests is what are y'all doing for Mel was like, "What are y'all doing for the community?" And I was like, "Wait till you see this community I'm about to build." So we complain about like not having village and support systems, and everybody's situation is a little bit different. But that's like a common complaint. The village ain't like it used to be growing up, and it's like, well, let's build the one we want.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we can sit around and complain about it. Because as a man, it's like I got to make sure our family's sturdy. I got to make sure wifey cool. It's my job to go out here and earn, provide, be a decent dad, decent human, and you put all this onus on you.
Right.
But like you got a bad schedule. Like I want you to make sure you feel comfortable. Like, Luke, can you grab the kids for me today? I'm a part of your village, bro.
Right.
I'm a resource to you for real. You know what I mean? When it comes to that time where Ash want to channel his frustrations into sports and he want to play football, you ain't got to go far.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to go far. You got me, you got Kadeem, you got Tone, you got Royale, you got guys right there. You know what I'm saying? From a personal training to coaching to, how to get recruited. Like, it's a lot.
Right.
We got to stop. I know,
we
like,
got to do it ourselves.
It's a whole bunch of do it yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I commend us for taking that initiative. But a smarter initiative is to lean into your network. And I think that's the overarching point I want to make today is that we are more than a dad network. You know what I mean? Double entendre from a production standpoint, but also as a human resource. Like,
that's a fact.
Having these dads as a part of this group, and we have initiatives that we want to continue outside of just bringing you a show every Friday and every Monday on YouTube.
Yeah, it's definitely bigger than just what you listen to or what you see. Like if you watch it on YouTube, that's why there's things like the Dad Link was important to get dads together that we can collaborate on things, and that way you can bounce ideas off of one another, like people that you would never talk to. Like at one of our Dad Links was Jim at our Dad Link that I talked to. He's like a scientist.
Right.
Like I never met a scientist in my life.
Not to mention, Jim, I'll probably see you picking up the kids one day this week, but just know, when the kids get to 11th, 12th grade and they take a chemistry, we're going to be knocking on your door, Jack. Right. I struggled at them subjects.
Right, and that's just the access, and that's just what we're trying to do. Because at the end of the day, we're bonded by this dad thing. Right. Like, if we don't have nothing else in common, we dads, and we're bonded by that. Like, it don't matter. Like, you could be white, black, Asian, Spanish, anything. Like, we're like being a dad is universal.
Yes.
Regardless of what it is, regardless of your income level, like I said, race, anything, like we're dads. At the end of the day, we can bond over that. And then we can come together and we can collaborate, and it could be beneficial for not only us that's going through these things, but our children as well, who we are trying to lead.
So that's why it's important to me. You know what I mean? To have the resource. Like I said, we end up being a resource for each other. I would like a network that I pay somebody to cut our grass that's a part of our dad network.
Right. Yeah.
Somebody that works on my car is a part of our dad network. I would love to even circulate it that way. But also, like I said, the trickle down effect is that we'll be beneficial to the village and to the other children in the village, not just ourselves. So that's what I just wanted to come in here and talk about, because I had an experience in Pittsburgh. I'll share it with you guys. So Aquazi was going into the Hall of Fame at IUP, and a bunch of us went out there to celebrate him. And we went to dinner one night at a little fancy restaurant called Eddie V's. And we had the pleasure of sitting next to an older gentleman who actually invented the Super Soaker.
Right.
I think his name is Lonnie Williams. Do not quote me on Google right now. But and every time I think of like really wealthy men, I think of entertainers, athletes, stuff like that. I don't really think of somebody that invented something.
Right.
And it's crazy because it's like, I think he worked for NASA. Like, imagine how much you make working at NASA, but then to take a risk on yourself to be an entrepreneur and be up 300 M's
off of water guns,
and Nerf guns, and be 74 years old right now, still passionate, working on another thing. He said he had over like 200 patents. And it's like, imagine if a guy like that was in our village, in our dad community. But we sit here aspiring to be, ain't nothing wrong with it, but we aspiring to be Jay-Z, we aspiring to be P. Diddy, we aspiring to be LeBron James, we aspiring to be Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather. And you got somebody like that has their type of money, and he ain't had to run 4 miles a day, do 200 crunches a night. He ain't had to get a concussion every time he boxed somebody, and he's sitting there basically a genius.
Yeah, that's bad.
And you know, like that was like eye opening to me. Is like that's what I need. You know, and I always talk to you about this. Is like I was a lineman, so I'm very selfless. I'm very hardworking and serving. But one of the things as a lineman, you have to be happy for other people's success. I put people in the end zone. I protect a guy that may never say thank you for protecting me. You know what I'm saying? And when I look at our dad network, I could be happy that you make it in your profession.
Right.
Your success is my success. You know what I mean?
That's true.
That's how I feel. That's how I would carry it. It's like, yo, somebody like that belongs to our community. Like, I'm so proud of you, but like, I feel like I made it.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true.
You know what I mean? So I think that's the benefits of it. And that's how I just kind of want to carry it. I had so many questions about it. Like, yo, is it a clothing brand? Is it like, what are you doing with your podcast? What do your numbers look like? You know, you getting advertisement dollars?
Right.
You know, but my overarching goal is this.
This is more important than that.
Absolutely. What else you got, bro? Are we still on my talking points?
What's still in your talking points? Go ahead.
I ain't got none. That was me trying to hand you the ball.
Oh, that was you passing the ball?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that we both agreed on that, like subconsciously without saying that. Like I don't really think that when we started this, we had that conversation like this was what this was gonna be. It was more like therapeutic based, like, you know, just kind of networking with dads. And I think now we've expanded it to a whole different thing where it's like, man, we could take that and then take it to this level where it matters a little bit more, where it hits home a little bit more, where it's a lot more applicable to actual real life versus like, you know, we just kind of just up here meeting with dads and bouncing ideas off dads and stuff like that versus, you know, actually like building a village and a network together. You know, we really like could be like a fraternity in ourselves.
Yeah, I think one thing I wanted to say out loud and hold ourselves accountable to is like I want to do dad links a lot more often than we've been doing them.
Right.
Almost like if we could possibly do dad links like monthly, you know, and I would like to like do maybe one big event a year for us and the kids, and maybe another event that's just for the dads. It's kind of like a retreat for the dads.
Right.
So that's like where I'm at. Like I'm not going to stretch us real thin and have like 27 goals and 95 events. I'm going to start off small so we can just continue to measure ourselves against ourselves, you know. But, you know, we get a lot of love, man. People run up to me, always want to talk about this and stuff. So I just wanted to take the time to, like, you know, just let you know it's a little bit more intentional than, like, just coming to talk on microphones. Like, to me, this probably, like, the smallest part of it is coming to shoot the show.
Yeah, this is the easy part.
This is the easy part, you know, but, like, organizing stuff, scouting locations, like, where we going to have things, pricing things out. You know, the production and editing of the show, all that stuff is harder than coming just to record and talk. This is the easy part. We friends in real life, so.
Right.
And I'm the self-appointed God dad.
Okay.
You ain't got no friends that self-appointed themselves the God dad, you know, like.
Yeah, no, I don't.
that was kind of bold when I did that.
I appreciate you, though. At least I knew you was up for the task. Sometimes you might assign somebody the task that they're not really up for. They might not be equipped.
I don't know. I don't technically know. Like, Dean didn't technically say that I'm Grayson's God dad, but I'm going to just probably assume the rule.
I mean, as you should.
I wouldn't be mad if it was Jeff.
Yo, man. Until next time, man. Listen, we're getting crazy on the pod. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. The support has been amazing. Continue to tune in. Continue to give us feedback. We're going to continue to be where we're supposed to be every Friday, and that's in your phone.
I'm renaming everything more than the Dad Network.
Oh, I thought you was about to take another shot at Jeff. Listen, we out of here, bro.
Bro. Until next time.
Until next time.
Join the More Than a Dad family by following us on Instagram, subscribing to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to join our Facebook group for daily questions, motivation, dad jokes, and new dad tips. If you enjoy our podcast, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Be sure to like, comment, and share our content with other parents. Last but not least, make sure you check out our new merch. The link is in the bio of our Instagram as well as the description of this YouTube video. We are truly grateful and thanks for supporting More Than a Dad.
More than a dad. More than a dad.